Okay, so engines in. That was reasonably easy. All I had to do was struggle for a good hour, long enough for the battery to go flat on that machine. But what I did in the end was lay the old bike on its side carefully, pick the engine up, put it in, and put one of these bottom bolts in with the idea that engine would then rotate around the pivot point and the final drive UJ would just line up. That didn't happen. So what I did then was, with the bolt still in the back, I strung the front up using some heavy duty zip ties, so it was like free to swing. You know, you see those sort of swings on you know those swings. So with the front then held up, I'd lifted the bike back up at this stage, with the front held up, still with me? Good. I could remove the bolt with the trolley jack underneath, allow the engine to swing forward a bit, lift up a little bit, swing it all in, line up the old UJ with the splines on the output shaft, put the bolt back in, 2 bolts in here, 1 bolt on the front. They aren't done up yet, but that's where we are now. So the plan now for the rest of the day is to make it work. Okay, we're back. We haven't really been anywhere, we've just been for a, quiet sit down. Always useful to get that out of the way before you start. So, the plan is to connect, to just do the bolts up on the engine first, because I'll probably have to undo them again later. But I'll make sure I do them up tight, nicely. Then, all the cables and things that connect to the engine can be connected back to the engine. Then we can do the carbs, put the carbs on the engine, then put some oil in the engine, then see if it starts. I mean, that's the whole mission, isn't it? Get to a point where we can start the engine. Then all the other stuff can go back on. Right then. It's probably going to be a lot of fast forwarding because, it's 11:45 and I'll probably be finished at some point later today, and you don't really want to watch all of that. So hit the fast forward button, grab yourself a cup of tea, and watch your guy messing around with this for the next however long it takes. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so plugged in, carbs are on, throttle cable's on, clutch things are on, fuel feed it's on nicely, other things in, got some radiatory things to go in there, that's all on, fuel pump's hanging loose at the minute, earth leads there, connected up nicely. Come round this side, what have we got? Positive cables connected up there nicely, that's all routed through onto the starter motor, clutch cables routed on, spark plugs are all in, got a load of water pipes to put on next, engine bolts are all done up, got no oil filter, we ain't going to be starting it today. Okay, carry on. Well, we're getting there. I'm going to give this little dude a flush through, then we'll get the rest of the pipes on. Got to order an oil filter, that'll be handy. And then have a cup of tea, maybe bacon roll. I recommend you do the same. I've forgotten something. I know I have, I've got that feeling. Never mind. So that thing I thought I'd forgotten. Thermostat housing. Thermostat housing doesn't go back in. Unless, actually it might do, did it? No. Which isn't a problem, I thought I'd just take it apart and give it a clean up anyway. Took it apart, I've cleaned it up already, but I'm missing something. Can't quite put my finger on it. Anyway, I'll order a new thermostat and put it back in and then bolt it all back up again. Excellent. There'll be a brief pause whilst we get an oil filter and a thermostat. Great.